Yeah, that's true. So let's get to the next topic, though. What is the biggest threat on the Miami Dolphins that you're worried about? I mean, there's a lot of threats on this team. They have a guy who can sling it more than Jimmy Garoppolo can. So Mike McDaniel, for the first time in his coaching career, actually has a quarterback that has slightly more arm strength. And then they have two speedy wide receivers and a good running game. But like I said before, Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr. might both be out for this week. So they might be missing their two best running backs. And then the second part of my question is, does Tua remind you a little of 2016 to 2017 Matt Ryan, the year that they made the Super Bowl, and Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator?
I don't know about that. Tua is very unique to me. Like, the way he throws a ball, there's nothing on it. And yet he's good. Like, doesn't it look like he's throwing a Nerf ball?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
It looks like he's throwing a Nerf ball. And it's like, so he can't like thread the needle into tight windows and stuff, but Mike Daniel finds ways to create space for him to throw the ball into, and he's very good. He's very accurate. He throws anticipation. I can't remember seeing anyone like him. He's a little bit like Steve Young, but with like he's smaller with an even weaker arm. Steve didn't have a very strong arm, but his stronger arm than Tua. I don't know. It's very strange. What was the other the question? Miami, the biggest threats they pose. Okay, so to me, it's clear. It's their two wide receivers, Waddle and Hill. There's no other team that has that combination of speed. It's like two guys that run forward, like the two fastest wide receivers in the league. And maybe if the Niners had Mosley, they could match up, but they can't match up. What do the Niners do? Oh, if the Chiefs line up in a 3-by-1 formation, three on one side, one the other, and like they put the tight end over here, and over here, the wide receiver closest to the offensive tackle is Tyreek Hill, and the guy next to him in the slot is Jalen Waddle, and then your third wide receiver's outside. Like, who's covering Tyreek Hill that in the middle of the field, but he could go either way? Jimmy Ward?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So those are really bad matchups. And so you could be like, okay, well, the Niners will play zone. They'll play soft zone coverage. Well, Tua's just going to light you up. You know, he's going to complete 85% of his throws. He's very accurate. He gets the ball out of his hands. He makes good decisions. I just don't think – I mean, who really can match up with the Dolphins? But I don't think the Niners can. So that's why it all comes back to, you know, they're missing their left tackle. You got Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
Maybe Eric Armstead. Force the ball to come out quick, and don't give Tua the time to get the ball down the field to those wide receivers that no one can cover. That being said, what's so interesting about the Dolphins is Mike McDaniel. He was the offensive coordinator for the 49ers. He faced that defense every day for years. What's his plan against Bosa? What's his plan? Like, what does he think the weaknesses of the Niners defense is? I mean, I want to know. The league wants to know, because so far the last month, no one's found any weaknesses, right? Like, so people are dying to see what Mike McDaniel can show them right now.
I feel like the one weakness, though, is their defense. They seem to every game kind of like we'll give up 30 points, but we'll score 40. Like so the defense is a big weakness. But at the same time, with the 49ers, they haven't proven on a consistent basis that we can score 30 points. So I could see it. And also the reason why, like going back to what you said about the two Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, that's a bad matchup because DeAndre Hopkins is an outside receiver. So Charvarius Ward is covering him. But both of these guys are slot receivers. So
and they're faster than Charvarius Ward. Hopkins is not. I know. Ward matches up quite well with Hopkins and Kupp.
Hopkins is I'm such a big body. He's like a guy that's like, I'm such a big body that I'm just going to push off of you slightly and catch it. And he has so good hands. But Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they're fast. They're in the slot. And I feel like, especially against receivers like Cooper Kupp, I mean, those type of receivers always tend to beat the 49ers. So, yeah, exactly. But Teron Armstead is a huge loss for them for sure. And especially if the two top running backs, that's going to be tough for them.
But the thing about losing Armstead, too, like you already know if Eric Armstead doesn't play much, they're going to be sliding all the protection to chip Nick Bosa.
Right.
Even though Bosa's not going to have one-on-ones, like I would think, unless Mike McDaniel